Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the Tapped In Podcast. We are back here again in the basement of Mountaintop Maple. It's episode 4. Again, it's super cold outside. That's why we're not in location of the sap house or anything. But so let's get rolling on episode 4. What are we talking about today, boys?
Well, I think episode 4, if you just watched episode 3, episode 4, we're going to go into a traditional vacuum system, like natural vacuum, or not natural, a real vacuum pump system. Dano's got that. But before we do...
Yeah, so what did we talk about last time? Let's do a little recap here in case someone missed it.
Well...
What?
He was ready to dive into it.
I know.
And he cut you off.
Like, all right. Well,
Don't you love that?
all right.
Rain's back. Come on,
I know
boys.
where you're going.
Well,
And can you pull up them comments, Bennett? Go to the
Yeah, I can pull it up.
go
So-
to YouTube studio.
I can do it.
Okay, now go ahead.
all right. What we talked about before, I guess if you're a first-time listener,
There you go. See, you never know.
long-time caller.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Was he lispy laughing?
if you didn't watch any other ones, last episode, you're going to have to go check it out because we talked about natural vacuum system.
Mhm.
No electricity, no generators, natural vacuum. How we get natural vacuum with 3/16 and 5/16 line, why it works, how it works, and how good it works.
And so now, this time, we're going to talk about the actual vacuum. See,
Like
get
I
him on
al-
a cliffhanger.
Like I already said, we're going to talk about a real vacuum system
Gosh,
with a big pump. But before we
this
do
guy
that,
doesn't understand YouTube.
Before we do that, we're going to dive into some of our comments that we had on our first video, which was pretty cool. People were watching. Not a lot of questions.
Not a question on the first one, but that's okay.
And I know that's not because we explain things well. That's just because people are shy. But I do know one comment. Somebody said we had to have a lot of wood if we're going to make a
Oh yeah.
100 gallons.
We have a guy right here. Better have a pile of good dry wood to make 100 gallons of syrup, which he is not wrong.
No,
We
I'll
better
tell
have
you,
that.
we have a pile of wood
But I don't know if it's gonna be good or dry.
So we're gonna let that one eat.
The question is, what your pile of wood is compared to somebody else's
Right,
pile
right,
of wood,
right.
you know?
And just for the record, we're kind of
This
making,
one right here, I really
There it is
agree.
again.
I really agree with this comment.
There it is. again.
Holy, there's some old timers. There are some old
Oh
timers.
yeah, that was
I'm
that was
just
Chris
kidding.
Davis. Thank you.
Chris Davis.
We got some good memories with him, don't we?
Yeah, right. That's what Bennett said. Who's that? I said, don't worry about it. We go way back with that one.
We go back to on the hill baseball.
Yeah, the old baseball days.
Oh boy.
But the wood comment, yeah, we do know. Here's the problem. This is year 1 with our setup.
Yeah.
So we may be cutting dead trees down at the end of the year because we're out of wood.
No,
There's
during
no
the
doubt
year.
about that. During the year, we don't have a base to go on, right? So we know what we have this year,
Right.
and then next year and the year after, we can possibly prepare a little bit.
Here's one thing too. That I dropped a bomb on these guys about making me some syrup. So
Yeah.
they trust me. They didn't even know that was coming. I just
Right.
we tossed the idea around a little bit.
Yeah,
so
we had wood cut. We
For them.
basically the wood that we have cut this year is the trees that we cut down to make room for our sap house. That's basically what we have.
Yeah, and for some reason, Bennett's camera shuts off, but we're going to
It
keep
didn't. Only did it once last video. We'll try it again.
Yeah, I don't know why. But anyways, that was one. Do we have anything else on there we need to address? But we do read your comments. I think they're funny.
This guy was telling us, Jim Robert, 2624, was telling us about his system and how he's made 100 gallons of syrup on a small system. He had a 18 by 60 airtight Lapierre Vision, and so he was telling us that he made 160 gallons last year and the last 3 on 600 taps with RO to 8.5 to 10%. So he was basically saying what he's done, and that's super cool. I mean,
600 taps.
yeah, he's saying it's
600 taps.
doable. He's basically
Yeah.
saying it's doable.
600 taps on an 18 by 60. That's ripping, and he's
Yeah.
upgrading this year to a 2 by 6, which is awesome. So
My guess is, what was his name?
Jim Robert.
My guess, Jim, is that's because you had some late night boiling.
Oh
So,
yeah, oh yeah.
you're going to update, which
You-
is awesome. Yeah.
He may have had some silver sodas helping him along.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, we might have that too. So, yeah, that's good. What else? You good there? Or?
Yeah, that's basically all. I mean, there were some guys that were telling us, good. They were loving it. There's a guy helped me out with Carl Lyon. Remember, he's the guy that I said.
Yeah,
about
he lives in
Nyan.
Fulton, I think.
He lives.
right?
He's in Fulton. It's this guy's hometown. But that was good to know. I said Sherburne. again, not really sure. So it was
Yeah,
good to
they're
get
not-
somebody that
They're
actually
not really close.
knew. I didn't know. I thought I heard Sherburne.
He sold it on me, Schoon. I
Hey,
was just
I-
going
I
with
did
the flow.
at it.
And
This guy
it
has
was in New York, so good work.
this guy has the funniest comment of the entire video.
What's that?
I heard you. This guy says Austin Thorndike.
Oh, I know him. He's well, sorry. I just cut him off.
No, go ahead.
He is Ruthie's Sugar Shack or Maple. I should know, but he's reached out to me. He loves the YouTube channel, but yeah, he's a good dude. He's subscribed, so
Yeah.
he knows what he's got
He
going on.
says the answer is always more taps. If you need more equipment, it's going to require more taps. If you want more sap, going to require more taps. And if the wife is divorcing you because you're so addicted to making maple syrup, it's going to require more taps to pay for the divorce.
And
That's
that
the
is-
best comment I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
That
he's
is
a
true.
good dude.
That
He
is true.
just became a dealer for CDL.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm not sure where he's from. I should know that, but
And that is true. Luckily, Dan's wife is 100% on board, or he couldn't do what he's doing.
Oh,
and
he built her a room in his big building. That helps.
that is true.
She-
She's got
she-
her own room.
she is the driving force behind me, and I'll say
Yep.
it a million times. Like behind every good man is a great wife. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
somebody that's supportive,
Can't
and
say that
she always
anymore.
pushed me to be better. And so we're gonna get a joking about this. She will not go on camera, and I don't know how Rand feels about going on camera, but we're gonna get the wives down here and have them sit in here sometime.
Well, when we drop episode 2, I believe his wife did make it an appearance.
A slight appearance in
So
episode
yeah,
2.
might have phoned a friend there. So
Didn't
with
make a million though.
yeah, no. So with that, we're pretty good there. But thank you for watching, and I can't even believe people pay attention to
I
us,
can't believe
but-
the amount we've gotten on the first
Yeah.
episode. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
been
awesome.
really awesome to see it grow. So we really appreciate everyone tuning in and hope we can keep growing it. I think having us a little bit YouTube subscribers, it helps push that.
out some. Yeah.
One thing I want to say before we close on that, thanks for all the comments, all the feedback. We read every comment.
Absolutely.
It's important for us to see what you guys want, like, dislike, and that's what we're here for. So thanks for watching us.
We really appreciate it. Doesn't go unnoticed for sure.
All right. So let's go into vacuum systems. There is a plethora of stuff we can do. That was a big one.
You got it.
Of topics you can go on. I mean, there's people out there that hate vacuum systems. There's people that love them. There's people that say that's all you. If you're going to do maple, you have to. Obviously, we know people. You got a cousin that runs full buckets. He makes syrup.
Yep.
So you can do it any way you want. It's just a matter of what you're looking to do, what you're looking to get out of it. Go into your vacuum system a little bit. You have 2 woods, and you have vacuum at both of them. One of them you have power, one of them you have to have a generator, correct?
Yes. So I don't know if you want me to touch on that first or back up and say why vacuum is good versus bad. I don't know how you want me to tackle that.
Let's run into your systems first. How
Okay.
are your systems set up?
Okay, so I have 2 separate woods. They're both leases. One has power, one does not. So had to do a little research, found a generator, had a 250-gallon custom fuel tank mounted to that generator so I can go a month straight, 24 hours a day, if I have to. Didn't want to have to be up there babysitting, putting diesel in it every 10 minutes of
Right.
the day. So I have 2 Becker vacuum pumps. I believe they're rated for 71 CFMs or 70. It's either 70 or 71, and they're good for 7,000 taps. I like vacuum because when I first started out on gravity, we would get sap, but we were relying on freeze thaw. My buddy Jason, who I hadn't started doing business with yet, but had just bought a Indiana vacuum pump when Indiana Vacuum Pump started building pumps. They're like one of the first ones. And he bought one. And I mean, he has so much sap. He had no RO at that time.
I remember that.
He had sap. Like, I've never seen anything like this. I wish I had video of this. You pull up to his sap house, and he had an old bolt tank here, one this way, one that way, like a U shape, sap running over him and on the ground.
I've heard a lot of stories from this time.
So and here we are, just down the road, our 800 tap gravity, just sitting here like this, twiddling our fingers every day. We get a little bit, there we'd sit. Frustrating, because you spent a significant amount of money just to do that, where he spent a little bit more. He ain't worried about not having sap. He's got more sap than he knows what to do with.
Right.
So I was sold right there instantly on vacuum, because I'm like, what are we doing this for, dude? like just to sit here and maybe boil once a week or what. I don't even know what it was at that point, but it's
Right.
like he's got sap, we don't. He's having a good time making syrup. We're sitting here twiddling our thumbs.
Well, I don't know. I think I remember. Was he having a good time? Because he was dumping sap, pouring, selling
Oh my
sap.
gosh, dude! So I go up to Jason, and I know Jason. He was a year ahead of us in school.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Jason, I said, dude, we need some sap. How much you want, boys? And so he sold it to us like dirt cheap. I can't remember what the number was at that point. He's like, at that point we had 275 gallon cage tank. So we pull up, fill it up, all down. We're happier than heck, man. We're pumped. We got sap to boil. So for me, seeing that vacuum for the first time as opposed to our gravity, it was a no-brainer for me.
Right.
I mean, it just he had sap like I've never seen in my life. Like it's just everywhere. He didn't have an RO, so poor him. He was eating firewood. He was going through slabs. He was cutting. I mean, an old I don't know, he had a 4x12 or something in there, but he was just boiling nonstop because he didn't have an RO. Then next came the RO. But yeah, I'm a vacuum guy, true and true. Even for a small guy, I just think you're always going to have sap. You don't have to rely on it. Oh man, we just got a 70-degree day like last year. We got one a year before. My cousin on buckets. When we're getting sap, he's not.
Right.
You know, the vacuum always gives you sap.
Right. Yeah. You're always going to be able to produce sap from your woods without having to rely on the weather and Mother Nature and the whole 9 yards.
So with that, though, comes a little bit of a downside because you have to be very. If we have a leak in our system, in our natural vacuum system, it's really not going to kill us. I mean, it's not going to be perfect,
Right?
but it's not going to hurt us too bad.
It's also harder to see when we have leaks
Right.
versus a main vacuum system. It's
Now,
a lot easier to tell.
I watch your videos too, and leak checking is what you do. I mean,
Every day.
so what happens when you have a leak? What does it do? I mean, obviously it drops your how many inches, so you know you have a leak because you have what's that spy system or something.
Well, I don't know. So I don't have a monitoring system like the big dogs. I can, but it's thousands of dollars. So I'm the cheap man's version of that. So I have valves on every submain.
That's right.
So it starts in the sugar out or starts in the pump house. So basically, if my VFD drive is not sitting on zero, say
What's
it's
that?
0.01,
What's VFD?
the VFD is on the vacuum pump.
Yeah.
And that's telling you how many inches of vacuum
Okay.
basically got you. So you have your vacuum gauge here,
Sure.
but you have the VFD drive here.
Gotcha.
So it makes sense. If that's reading 00, you have
No error.
28 inches.
Correct.
If that's up, you're losing vacuum.
Gotcha.
If that VFD drive is more accurate than the gauge because barometric pressure, changes,
Everything.
everything each day. So that gauge is 100%. So anyway, so if I go in if I go into pump house, like, oh, yep, it's like 0.01, 0.02, I got a leak in the woods. It's that simple. So what I usually do, I go right to my releaser first. I have valves on all four mains. I shut off the whole woods. And then I open one side and I'll look at that gauge and see if it changes. You can tell right away what side it's on just by
Right.
those valves. So then I know what side of the woods
You
it's
eliminate
on.
half your woods already.
Yep, you eliminate half the
Half
woods.
the woods,
So
yeah.
then you go up, and then the 1-inch ball valves I got on the submain, you shut them, open them. If you got a leak, you can hear it usually. But I put those whip lines. Did you guys see those ones I molded
Yep,
in?
yep.
They go like this.
Yep.
So basically, you close that valve right here, and the sap will.
Then you do this, right? Don't you pull?
No,
it
no,
out?
not on the submains.
Nope, not on my submain. I
okay.
got a.
Oh yeah, I saw them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you close this. This is a little trick, and it'll back up. The sap will back up, and you'll see it push up in here. And if it pushes up nice and solid, you're good to go. But if it starts racing here and doesn't want to fill, it tells you got a micro leak on that line. Saves you walking hundreds of them.
Right.
So that's how I.
And then you go to each individual lateral and then you put them down.
Yes. Then you pull
Yes,
down
yes.
on this and find it. So that's how it starts. It starts right there at the vacuum gauge. I know if I have a leak, then I isolate it through the releaser, and then I go to the woods and I can isolate it on valves and these guys right here. And your other question was like, what does it do? Well, it messes everything up. Say there's a squirrel chew on a lateral line like right here. It's going to freeze solid right there. So say you got 6 trees back here.
Right, 2 go at once that time. Dang it.
Oh.
Anyway, you're good to go.
So what happens is, like, say you got a squirrel chew right here.
Yep.
This will screw everything up because it's letting air in. Nine times out of 10, that'll freeze solid. So every tree behind here isn't running. You just lost production from that one little chew. And I think if you watch that video where I helped that guy last year, I simulate one of them. I
You
said,
did. You did. Yep.
I sliced his line, and he's like, wow, that little, I said, it just messes the whole line up. So that's what vacuum does. That's like, it's very important. It tells you when you got a problem, but it can be also your worst nightmare because you never stop working the woods because you're trying to fix them all the time.
And you have to, Jason learned a valuable lesson. He put vacuum on a number of taps and didn't have the system to take care of the sap, really. I mean, obviously fixed that and got an RO and learned from that. But if you start out with a 2x4 like we have with 100 trees and you throw vacuum on it, you better be ready to go. Right? Especially if you don't have an RO. I mean, you just can't, there's times that you just can't get rid of it if you're producing.
Right.
So if you're selling, let her rip, right? I mean, that, and once you get going with boiling your own
RO systems, you have everything like that.
Well, that's why I bought the RO for up there, because if I didn't, I'd be hauling my brains out, dude. So now I have that comfort zone. Like, I can let a tank fill to 4,500 gallons, turn the RO on, take it to 550 gallons at 8%.
Good to go.
One load.
Right. Oh, that's big.
You know, one load to haul, because my tank's like 550 on my truck.
Right.
But vacuum, I mean, Corey's going to ask some other good questions about this, whether it's good, whether it's bad, and we'll dive into that. But I'm a firm believer of it, because you just don't get the sap.
Right.
Like on regular gravity, or buckets.
Right.
So you went into, on the last episode, episode 3, about check valves. We went into that a little bit. We don't need to dive into that, but one wood you have check valves, one wood you don't. Why?
So
why don't you do it all of them?
You know that big mistake we talked about with the old man let the sap back up in the tap hole? That's why. I put them in that woods, because the pitch. That's all because of the pitch in that woods.
Right.
My other woods on 80, you guys know that. It's like this.
Yeah, it's steep.
I have no problem. And all my laterals and everything in that woods has got, I mean, it's great. So I don't, like, I'm in the woods enough to, it's never going to back up there unless the power goes out. I did have that happen to me last year. That sucks. Quick flick of the power and the vacuum shuts off. So if you don't know it, you're out here doing something. By the time you get back there, you got sap backing up. But I have them in that one woods because of a pitch issue. And then, ever since I started running them over there, it's just like I don't know, it's just a safety net for me. Like, I know that woods is going to be okay because I had that ball in there.
So you would, in theory, have to have a generator. I mean, if power went out, we had a major ice storm.
Yeah, I don't even have a generator up there.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But you could get one somewhere. Which I'm sure somebody could hook you up with an old farm generator or something.
Well, yeah, it's just another piece.
Yeah. So check valves are pitch. I mean, if you don't have the pitch, and you may run into the problem like you had, safety net, throw the check valves on.
Yeah, like most guys, they're putting a check valve in because they don't want the sap going back in their tap hole. It's just a safety net. Now, I know one guy, he swears by that. He will never use anything else because that's what works. Every year he makes a lot of syrup.
Right.
And then you got like your grandpa down there says he used them a couple years and he didn't like them because the balls were hanging up, which I have heard that.
Which I'm not sure if that's the reason. I've never even asked him the reason. Maybe that is, I'm not sure. I should ask him that sometime, why he doesn't like it.
I think one thing was they are
more expensive.
Oh, they are. They went up there 49 cents a pop.
Yeah, I don't know what a regular sap spile is, but
a lot less, 20 some cents.
Yeah,
I just bought a whole bunch. I should know, but
so I think what he did is used them one year, didn't use them the next, and tried to see if he actually had an issue, if his production changed, and I don't think it changed. So the cost wise, I don't think it mattered.
And the problem with that stuff too, like guy like, well, I put check valves in and I gained so much more sap. Well, you can't do that. It's going to have to be over a course of like 6-8 years, because no 2 seasons are the same.
Correct.
Right.
So how do you know if they're actually working or not?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like last year they did work for me because I had, like I told you guys, that old woods, 6 years in that woods, I had the best performance out of that woods I had the very first year on brand new tubing.
Right.
So something was working last year. You know what I mean?
Something happened. Yeah. Right.
You know, I mean, I'm getting better with my leaks every year too.
Right. Well, maybe you had, just the temperature was better. Everything worked out perfect.
I mean, you know how rewarding that is to have 28 inches in your woods? You know how hard it is to do that?
Oh, yeah.
People don't realize anybody can call themselves a sugar maker and go out and tap a bunch of trees and make some syrup. But can you do a half gallon per tap or over a half gallon per tap?
Correct.
To me, those guys are the real sugar makers out there. I feel like the big dogs, I mean, quote me if I'm wrong, but we'll just add more taps to make up the difference that we lost. We don't have that luxury.
Right.
We only get so much. So like, I got to make sure that everything I have is perfect.
Right.
Yep.
And it's hard work. It really is.
We have a limited season here. I mean, we're in a pretty nice climate area, but I mean, still the season's a month and a half, maybe 2 months if you're lucky. So you got to kind of make the most of it in that month and a half. Otherwise, all that time and money is wasted.
It's gone. Yeah. One question I had marked here is, why do people argue about vacuum? I don't know if you've had anybody with you argue about it, like the pros and cons, but I know we have with ROs, and that'll be a whole probably 10 episodes about that. But why do they argue about vacuum? Like,
well, what they're saying is the people that don't really know, per se, not educated people, you're killing a tree.
Right.
Well, number one, we went to 5/16 spout how many years ago? So that hole is, I mean, you're talking tiny.
Right, 5/16 of an inch. That's less than half an inch.
I forget what they were in the old days.
Well, these are big.
There's some that are 3/4 inch. Pop Harrington has on his
almost
sap house
3/8.
wall.
Almost think 3/8 sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So number one, you've already the wound in a tree is that what it's only that big. That's tiny. So now, if you think about it like this, you got vacuum constantly pulling on that tree. You don't have bacteria going back in the tree, so it's actually healthier for the tree.
Correct.
And you're not going to kill the tree. I mean, there's so much sap inside a tree. Don't quote me on it. I'm not exactly sure how many gallons a tree puts out, but it's actually healthier for the tree than having sap back up, sit in there, and go in the hole to contaminate.
Well, and trees will only give you as much sap as they're going to give you, right? Like, like I've had trees half through the season just shut down. No rhyme or reason, no bacteria, nothing like that. Just the tree stopped giving sap.
Right.
And so that tree's still alive. I'm still tapping it to this day. But it's just one of those things. The tree's only going to give you so much sap.
And the other thing with vacuum that some people, usually it's more old school, when you used to drive down the road locally and you see 8 buckets around a tree, a big roadside tree. Now you go down, and if that person's on vacuum, or most of the time, even on end tubing, you got 1 tap. Same tree.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's like the whole big thing with vacuum. You're just as much out of that tree on 1 tap as you do 6, and you put 5 less wounds in that tree. So that's another great. I'm glad you brought that up. I totally forgot about that, and that's another reason why vacuum's good. Less holes in the tree.
Right.
So like I strive for 1 tap per tree. That's what I try to do. I mean, if I got a tree like this, I got a big bear hog, I'll put 2 in, but it's a heck of a lot easier looking for 1 hole every year than it is 2.
Correct.
The rule of thumb is if you can't reach your arms around it and touch your hands, you can put 2 in it. Now, I think we're the same way. We strive for 1 tap a tree, but there's a couple in our woods this year we're going to have to throw 2 in just to reach our 80 number.
Right.
But
that's a good point, Schooner. I forgot. I totally forgot. That's what they always preach.
Well, I mean, and there isn't a sugar maker out there. Anyone that does maple that doesn't care about the tree. Because we got to keep it alive, right? I mean, no one's saying let's go out and kill maple trees. It's just not. Back in the day, way back in your great grandfather's day, they used to put pills in the hole. I remember hearing Rex say that, and I knew that because I had heard that before, and I have no idea what literally looked like an aspirin, and it could have been.
I did find out what they were. I had a guy comment on my video.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde
pills.
So they would put that in, which would keep that hole open longer. Now, New York State outlawed those.
Yes, and the thing was, they sold them. Maples, whatever the maple stores were, they were selling those pills, so you could do that.
Right.
I found all that out. This is what's cool about YouTube.
Right.
People out there know what's going on.
Correct.
This guy commented and told me all that, so I learned it from him. But yeah, they put pills in the tap hole.
Yeah,
and they outlawed it because it was bad for the tree.
Right.
Looking back, it would keep that hole open a whole year or more.
Right.
So that's how it evolved. We're like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. It worked well, but it worked too good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was back in the day. You ever heard anyone say that you can have vacuum in your sap percentage, your sugar percentage in your sap is lower? So I'm on buckets. I'm pulling, we'll say 2.2% sugar. You're on the same tree on vacuum pulling 1.5. You think it's because of vacuum, or?
I think there's something to do with that. Yes, this a big topic of conversation here, because you're pulling so much. Like the tree will give you so much. Then you're pulling it right out of the roots, right out of the ground. So how sweet is the water in the ground? It's
right.
Like my best pull last year was like 1.7% sugar content, and that only lasted like maybe a couple days, and slowly starts to decrease. Then you hear these other guys on buckets getting 2.5%, 3%.
Right.
And I've heard guys on vacuum that say they're getting 3%. I don't know where they are, but I know like Jason, myself, and Brian, When one's getting 1%, the other one's getting 1%. There ain't no magical.
Right,
Hey, you're getting.
I was going to ask that if the other guys that are local,
Mhm.
or close to you, doing, I guess, close to you, not in proximity, close to you in equipment, are they getting the same percentage?
It is. There's no magical. Like, well, you'll say, yeah, I was getting 5.5% of that tree, dude. I don't think so.
Right.
I did see a tree. I've seen one tree. We had a kid at my high school. He brought in a bag of sap from his house. We let him take some stuff home and tap a tree. He brought in 6% sap from the tree.
Mhm.
Now that was, again, a yard tree, beautiful
Good
full crown.
Yeah.
So that's when but in the woods, you don't have the nice crowns.
The trees are all tight.
Correct.
Right.
And I think,
But that was amazing.
I often wonder, that's another great question, Schoon, is I wonder, I said, man, is this pump somehow pulling more water, leaving some of the sugar, is there sugar being left behind?
Pulling it too fast,
Or
maybe.
something, because it's
Right.
so frustrating, man. You know, like that's a huge difference. You can't compare, say a guy's got 10,000 taps and he's doing like well over a half gallon per tap because his sugar content's 2%. You can't compare that with a guy that's getting 1.3 on the same amount of taps. You just can't. You can't compare that. So what I always do is I go, how much sap are you getting per tap? That right there. Now that's more equal. You can go off
Right.
that. You can't go off sugar content because not everybody's getting the same sugar content.
Depending on location and
Yeah,
freeze thaw, depending on how your winter was, depending on how the growing season was.
Yeah, like
everything.
somebody that's averaging 1.3 or 1.4 out of the tree as opposed to 1.1. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
You can't compare that.
No.
What did you average last year on our system?
I never got an average, but I had very few days under 2%.
Right.
Very few. Like
That's
it was always right around 2, 2.1, 2.3, right in that area. I could look at my phone back in my logs.
Is soft maples and hard or all hard?
All hard. We have
yeah.
we have a couple soft maples in our woods that we just ran line, but we skipped them because we have so many hard maples. We're gonna only
So we tap them all, soft and hard.
Right.
You don't walk by one and gets a hole put in it.
And we didn't. Yeah, we didn't need to go that route. We said
You might as well.
we might as well just stick with the hard. And
Because if people that don't know, hard maples will run a sweeter sap typically and longer in the season.
Yes.
The soft maples will go sour quicker, which then you're adding the sour sap into the good sap, which it doesn't a huge deal, but it just helps your woods longevity of the season.
when you're going smaller volume, when you're going big volume, you're not going to see it as much.
No, but
Right.
it's crazy that whole sugar thing you're talking about with vacuum. Like, does it pull? Does it leave? You know, that's a great question. They always say like trees are kind of like jeans. Like your family's tall, well then a set of trees are sweet. They're sweet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They say like I have noticed like the harder the winter, the longer the winter, I feel like I had sweeter
sap.
sweeter
Absolutely.
sap.
Yeah.
I feel like the longer the tree goes dormant, the better.
Well, that and if I also think if we have a super dry fall, you're gonna have not as sweet sap as if you have a damp fall, hard winter, then you have a nice spring.
But here's what doesn't make sense. Last year we were dry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys, not as dry as this year, but we were dry last year. A pond up the road from my house is down 3 feet, same as it was this year. Well, we got a lot of rain before the season. And I was pretty sweet last year. So this year we're really, really dry. That pond didn't come back up. It's still down a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how sweet the trees are.
will be.
Pop Harrington and I were talking about that I don't know, a month or two ago. We were both talking like, I don't know about sugar content this year. Hopefully it's because if you get 1% sugar content all year, you're gonna make half the syrup you want to make.
It's sickening.
It's terrible.
It's just like, you know, even putting it through the RO, it takes that much.
It's
more.
one of those things you have no control over that.
No.
Right? You can get as many taps in the woods, you can get all the vacuum you want, but you cannot control sugar content.
Well,
and that sucks.
And remember, I don't know how many years ago it was. It had to be 15 now. The caterpillars came through,
Oh yeah.
and they took all the leaves off, all the maple and ash, everything for a whole year. And that year, the next year, suffered because the tree couldn't make the sugar, you know, with the leaves and stuff. So,
And those trees, believe it or not, most of those trees made it.
Yeah.
Like, there's
right.
still,
Oh yeah, they
did
made
you guys
it.
notice this year though in the fall how brown things were? Like trees did not look good.
Well, there was no color, I think, because how dry it was.
I think
it's
it's
just that
because it was
drought,
so dry. Yeah,
I think it's one of the driest summers we've ever had that I can ever remember.
Well,
You?
This year was
absolutely.
weird.
It was
This was
really
weird.
wet in the spring.
Really wet.
nothing in the fall,
Nothing.
or nothing in the summer. In the fall was kind of normal, I guess.
It was extremely wet in the spring. Extremely wet.
Well, boys,
29 minutes.
Are you serious already?
yeah, we're running the end of
Episode 4 here.
4 here. I think we got to wrap this one up and then maybe touch on 5 and see, unless somebody gives us a great topic, which would be awesome, so we don't have to do our research.
So what's our general consensus on vacuum? What do we think as a whole? We think we need it.
I think vacuum's good, depending on who you are. I mean, vacuum pumps. I think vacuum all around. If you can have vacuum, awesome. Now, whether that's vacuum pump, whether that's natural vacuum, whatever that may be, I think if you have the means to have vacuum pumps, do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a little more expensive because you got to have the bigger line. You got to have, the pump, the whole nine.
Oh, it's big time.
If you can, if you're under that 120, 130, anything under 200 taps, I think is really good for that natural vacuum. If you get over that 200, 300
I think
range,
if you're around the 500, 600, 700.
Did you say 6, 7?
6, 7. Oh my.
Yeah. And you don't have an RO, you don't want a vacuum.
No.
Right? I don't care what you got, but
they go hand in hand.
If you buy an RO, correct. If you buy an RO,
throw a vacuum.
Throw a vacuum on it.
Think about this. There's no way any guy with normal thinking would ever put 5,000 taps in. You know how much firewood you're going to be burning, brother?
Right.
You're never going to be done.
We're doing 80 taps, and I've said this. We're doing 80 taps on natural vacuum, and I would not want to do it without an RO.
No.
I wouldn't want to do it.
We wouldn't. You'd be spinning your wheels, and
there wouldn't even be these 50, 60, 200,000 tap operations if there weren't ROs. Because nobody in their right mind can spend that much money on fuel. You're going to lose.
Yeah.
So,
well, I will say, your grandfather, great grandfather.
You know what was the coolest
he had
thing?
3 arches going though.
4,
5.
5.
That's insane.
Think about that. Think about his mindset. We get a couple more minutes here because this is cool.
Oh yeah.
He had 2, 2, and 1. So he was basically doing with 4 what an RO does.
Correct.
Isn't that crazy?
His outside 2 RO evaporators were an RO.
And then coming right into the center, constant syrup coming off.
Mm-hmm.
Genius.
To
think of that in the 60s like that.
Absolutely.
And his sugar was sweet.
Sweet.
He
Yeah.
said he made 5,000 gallon syrup on 10,000. That's a half a gallon without vacuum, boys.
That's insane.
Well, and
ROs.
He had boys with buckets and cleaning buckets, and I've heard the stories. That's awesome. I mean, that whole thing, that one you did on YouTube was awesome, and more people watch that probably than
I never, like when I thought, who gave me that idea? My cousin Mark.
Oh yeah.
Guy isn't a big tech guy, video or YouTube guy. He's like, you need to make a video on the history of this valley. I said, you know what?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I said, Aunt Martha's still alive. Rex is still alive. There's plenty of old timers that are still around.
Oh yeah.
I just wish the building was there. I went up there and it was gone.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That I got so much feedback. Like your parent,
Mhm.
there's people that I never even thought would even care.
Oh, yeah.
They love that.
We watched it right down the barn while we were boiling sap. Yeah.
Yep. And
in our barn.
It was my grandma before she passed away, my grandma Bolton, which that was her dad. I said, I'm going to do maple, Grandma. And I said, you look down. I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah.
I told her and my mom. So that's my goal. I promised these people I was going to do something. It's
Well, now
more than just me. It's a family thing.
Now you got to do it.
So
carry it on. Absolutely.
Well,
All righty,
listen,
that does another one.
We should wrap this one up because I think it's getting close to din time.
Oh, pizza tonight, boys.
Oh, pizza.
You guys, it's another fun. It's so much fun when we get together.
Yeah.
It's not quick, too, people. Like, we got to set all this up.
We're
kind of like mobile.
Hopefully, we're definitely going to be doing a podcast while boiling in the sap house because that's cool. We'll have stuff going. It'll be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great? Pull the doors right off to bring.
Remember the fire you had the other?
That won't happen.
Yeah.
That won't
Imagine Scoon. I mean, we think we're cool. Yeah, we look like them guys, them idiots. They just burned their whole sugar house down. They were all nothing but timbers around us, and we're still in there talking.
Yeah. Oh, that doesn't smell good. Yeah.
That smells hot. Yeah.
All
Thanks
right.
for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
All right, guys. Thank you.
We have a very special guest today, Mr. Glenn Goodrich from Vermont. So we appreciate you for coming on today. It's great to have you.
Well, it's great to be here.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of the Tapped In podcast. Please, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and hit the like button. It really helps us out a lot, gives us the motivation to keep going, and it helps the algorithm push it to other people to see the videos as well. If you like the content we're talking about and you want to see more in depth about it, you can head over to Crestview Maple Farm on YouTube and check out all the stuff Dan Bolton's doing over there with the bigger size operation. Then you can check out Mountaintop Maple on YouTube and check out my operation in the smaller setup, and we'll be boiling here soon, things like that. We got some merch on the Facebook. We got regular hats in both different color styles and beanies. So go check out all our Facebooks and follow the TikToks. Mountaintop Maple TikTok and a Tapped In TikTok. So go follow both of those. And thanks guys for watching.